Hi loves, how are you? Hope that you are doing well. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Nina or Sinfulpluto, and if you are returning, welcome back. Thanks for joining us here again today, and I hope that you enjoy your stay and receive a message that you need to hear for this upcoming week. Obviously, there's a little bit of a difference here. I got my hair cut, and I'm very excited. I've been wanting to get my hair cut again for a while now. It was getting way too long for me, and ever since I cut my hair for the first time in years, like when I was in high school, I could not go back. So here we are with short hair, kids. But anyways, let's just get into the reading. Today we're going to be going over what is in store for us between October 7th all the way through the 13th, and then we're going to get into a little pick a card to make the reading a little bit more personalized to you. Okay? All right. So let's get into it, my loves. What is in store for the collective? What is the collective energy like for the week of October 7th all the way through the 13th? What is in store for the collective? What should we be expecting? Okay, we have two cards that came out. So we have the Two of Wands reversed and the Ace of Cups reversed that both came out. Interesting. Let me do that. And then we have the Five of Wands reversed, the Ten of Pentacles reversed, and then at the bottom of the deck, the Four of Pentacles. Ooh, okay. I feel like a big theme for us this week is the ego, and ego getting the best of us. With this Two of Wands reversed, this talks about like business partnerships or any sort of partnership that is like kind of going down the drain, or you're just not seeing eye to eye, or this could also signify to me, this Two of Wands, like a sense of restriction of wanting to explore the world, wanting to do new things, wanting to pursue something that you're really passionate about, but there's something that's holding you back. And it's like you see all of these people pursuing this dream or pursuing their own version of a dream, and they're doing all of these things, and you're just like sitting there tied down, like wondering like, when can I do that? When can I go out and explore the world? When can I do this thing that I really want to do? Does that kind of make sense? There's a sense of restriction, but at the same time, I feel like it's self-imposed because we have the ability to like move forward, to move on, to do our own things, to, spread our wings, but we convince ourselves that maybe we're not good enough, or we convince ourselves that, it's just not the right time, or we convince ourselves of all of these things to kind of stop us from pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone, and that ultimately ends up hurting us because we just end up staying in our comfort zone. We end up staying in the familiarity of things, in the comfortability of things. We never take risks. We never do anything different. And so that is a bit of a challenge for us, and that creates internal conflict and friction within us. So it makes sense why we have the Two of Wands reversed and also the Four of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. I feel like this is the biggest theme here, is that we're clinging onto the thing that we are so comfortable with. We're clinging onto this false sense of security. We're clinging onto perhaps like this old home, or we're clinging onto this old phone, or we're clinging onto this old hairstyle, or whatever it is. There's something that a lot of us are kind of clinging onto, an old way of life, an old way of thinking, an old way of behaving. And that's like our safety blanket. And we are being pushed and pushed and pushed to get out of that, to get out of that cycle, to get out of that habit, because it's no longer serving us, and it's not helping us. It's not promoting any sort of growth at the end of the day. Does that kind of make sense? And so I feel like this week we are really being pushed to address our egos. And hold on, can I freaking look not pale? Okay, thank you. And it happens anyway, whatever. I really feel like we're being pushed and encouraged to go down a different direction, to do things differently, to detach from our egos and to practice non-attachment in the first place. This doesn't mean detachment in the sense that like we're just floating, no, but like non-attachment in the sense that we don't place so much value onto things that are temporary. We don't place so much value on a phone. We don't place so much value on a house, on a person, or on a job. We, I think, are being encouraged to live a life of gratitude, but not to depend on those things, to not rely on them for our existence. Does that make sense? And so I feel like that's kind of what's going on this week. And I feel that with this Ace of Cups reversed, a lot of us are feeling, honestly, I feel like some of us might be feeling jealous of other people because we see that other people are being successful, that they are living out their lives successfully, and they are living out their dreams successfully. And so we might feel a little bit of jealousy towards those people, a little bit of envy towards those people, because our cup is empty while theirs is overflowing. And it's maybe we might think, well, why can't my cup be like this? Why can't I be happy? Why can't I have this life? Well, have you been putting in the work? Have you put in any effort? Have you worked very hard to overcome certain obstacles and not given up immediately and not given up once things got even a little bit hard? You know, like, we say that we want all of these things, but a lot of the time we're not willing to put in the work, because then that means we have to push ourselves out of our comfort zone. And for a lot of us, that's not something that is easily done. And it's not necessarily supposed to be an easy thing. And you know, we're human. We live in a very physical world. We live in a material world where we need to rely on these things. We need to rely on money and all of that. Like, understandable. And we place a lot of value on these things, on money, on status, on reputation, on power, on all of these things that ultimately don't matter, but we make them matter because of the society that we live in. And so we have to push ourselves out of that. We have to transcend that way of being. Does that kind of make sense? And so rather than just sitting in a puddle of jealousy or envy or even self-pity and wondering, why can't you be so happy? Why can't I be this? Why can't I do that? Ask yourself, have you put in the genuine effort? Have you put in action? Have you taken initiative? And even if you have taken initiative, you know, have you been persistent in that, even when doors were closed in front of your face, you know? And so we have the Five of Wands reversed, which signifies like an internal conflict. Again, there's a whole like ego battle, I think, going on within a lot of us. And I feel like a lot of us are just we'll end up kind of feeling really overwhelmed this week, in the sense that we want all of these things, or there's all of these desires or wants that we have, but we struggle either maybe in finding a way to pursue them or in making our dreams come true in some sort of way. Does that make sense? And so I feel like it just causes this internal conflict of like, I want this, but I don't know how to get it. And just like overthinking and beating ourselves down, or maybe being in competition with other people, secretly being in competition with other people who are prospering, and that doesn't help us at all. And if we reach that state of mind this week, I really encourage you to stop yourself and say, am I feeling competitive or jealous or mad at this person or bitter towards this person because they're doing better than me, or because of some other reason that is not tied to my ego in some sort of way? Does that make sense? And so I feel like with this Ten of Pentacles reversed, this is not only saying that some of us are placing too much value on money, we're placing too much value on material things, on the physical world, on tangible things, rather than looking within and focusing on our own spiritual growth, emotional growth, and mental growth. This is saying how, you know, the foundation upon which we are standing is eventually, one way or another, going to fall apart. And if we want to have a more stable foundation, we need to rebuild. And we need to, you know, like check in with the foundation and see what needs to be fixed, what needs to be improved, what needs to be upgraded, what needs to be updated. This Ten of Pentacles reverse is telling me that we absolutely need change to occur, whether it's literally moving, whether it is changing up your style, whatever it is, there has to be change that takes place so that we can finally move forward. We need to let go of our old selves this week. We needed to detach from our old way of being, from our old lives, from anything that we're just attached to, whatever that might be for you. We have to let go of those attachments, because the Grim Reaper is right here, and he's like, hello, like, your old self has got to die. You know, we have to let go of our old selves. We have to transform. We have to do more for ourselves than just sitting in the same old circle. You know, for some reason, I keep thinking of the circle that SpongeBob and Patrick made to protect themselves from, like, that, I don't remember what it's called. It was like a sea bear or whatever. But that's what I'm, like, thinking of for some reason. It's like that little circle that they were in and they never left. I'm pretty sure they never left. I don't remember. I'm old. But that's really what it feels like. It's like we have to push ourselves out of the circle. We have to push ourselves out of this, even if it might seem scary or unfamiliar or weird or whatever the case may be. We have to push ourselves further to promote our growth. Otherwise, we're just going to be standing on this really wobbly ground, and it's going to feel uncomfortable, and we're going to be trying to maintain all of this comfortability, and eventually that's just going to falter. It's going to fall, because at one point or another, an unstable foundation is going to have to fall eventually. And so I feel like it's important for us to address our emotions, to address ourselves, to reflect, to introspect, and to see what needs to change in our lives, what needs to improve, or what needs to be released. I mean, especially with the Aries new moon, or Aries full moon coming up soon. Like, we need to be working on releasing certain things, okay? Especially releasing our attachments to the physical world and material world. Not placing so much value on money, on status, on wealth, on power, on how many cars you have, or how much of this you have, or how little you have. Like, at the end of the day, that doesn't matter, because it's all physical. It's not going to be there forever. This physical world that we're in isn't going to last forever. This life that we're living isn't going to last forever. Like, we are always changing. We're all evolving. The only constant in life is change and impermanence. And once we accept that and we begin to practice non-attachment and practice, simply being grateful for the everyday that we live and for all of the things that we experience and taking them as lessons, and no longer putting these things on a pedestal or putting these people on a pedestal or placing all of this value on them, this man-made thing or man-made concept, we begin to feel a lot happier in our lives when we let go of all of that. Does that make sense? And so once we stop clinging on to whatever false sense of security that we are having, we are able to live out a happier life. 10 of Cups, we are able to do that. We are able to live comfortably and be emotionally fulfilled, to feel so much more than we have in the past. But as long as we stay stuck in our own mental prisons and think that we are powerless or that we can't make any sort of change and this is just the way that we are and we just have to accept our circumstances, of course, there isn't really going to be any sort of change. But eventually you're going to feel very stagnant and you're going to feel like you want more or that you need more. And you might resort to physical things to try to fill up the void inside of you, but that void can't be filled by physical things. That void can only be filled by spiritual awakening or by non-attachment or by inner work. Sometimes, a lot of the time, really, we are able to fill that void simply by reflecting and introspecting and working on healing ourselves and doing the inner work, doing the shadow work, if you will, by doing the thing that no one else really wants to do, So it might be a long journey, sure. We have the Knight of Pentacles, so it might require a lot of patience and, determination and persistence. But if we keep on the track and if we continue moving forward, even if we face certain obstacles and even if we feel discouraged, we will be able to get through this period of voidness. Excuse me. So that's really what I see for all of us this week. I think it's important for us this week to detach from our egos and to go with the changes rather than clinging onto the thing that gives us a false sense of security, because at the end of the day, that thing can be gone within a day. Like it can be gone within a minute or an hour or a second. And so it's important not to place so much value on that things, because then we just ultimately end up disappointing ourselves when if and when that thing kind of just like goes away or disappears or whatever the case may be. But we put so much value in that. So of course we're disappointed. And that's why we have to practice not putting all of this value on things that, ultimately don't last forever. And this isn't to say like don't be grateful or don't let yourself like get close to people or anything like that. No. Enjoy your human experience, but just know that you don't have to cling on to things because it's not really going to help you. So that's what I have for this week, my loves. If you are interested in the pick a card reading that will be starting right now, soon. But anyways, I will talk to you soon, my loves. See you in the pick a card.
Hello, my loves. Today we have 3 groups from which you can choose. So go ahead and close your eyes. Take a few deep, mindful breaths and ask your spirit guides which pile resonates with your energy, which pile is meant for you to watch and hear and listen. And once you have your answer, go ahead to the timestamp that I will be listing down in the description box. And you can go ahead to that time, okay? Enjoy, my loves. Please make sure to drink lots of water and have a snack handy if needed, okay? Love you.
Hi, Group 1. How are you? If you chose this group, you went ahead and chose the lapis lazuli. So let's just go ahead and get started with your reading for this week. See what's in store for you. So first card we have is the moon. So you could be dealing with a Pisces or a Cancer, or themes surrounding those signs are coming up for you this week. We also have the Hermit, so same thing with Virgo energy. That might be a major theme for you this week. Virgo energy, Cancerian energy, or Pisces energy. We have the Fool, which to me is Aquarius or Aries energy. So again, that could be your own placements or the placements of someone else that you're dealing with this week, or it could just be the overall theme of the week with the energy and stuff like that. And then we have the Four, can you see that? The Four of Swords. So I feel like this week, a lot of you might be isolating yourselves a lot with this Hermit card. You might be feeling like just you don't want to talk to people, or maybe you just are kind of like over everything and you just want silence, you want to be alone. But having the Hermit reverse signifies someone who's doing it way too much. Like this is over isolation, over like too much solitary time. This is too much alone time, and it's to the point where it's not even like benefiting you at all. It's really just pushing you down or pulling you down in the wrong direction. And it's kind of like whenever I think of the Hermit reversed, I think of someone who is just on their phone all of the time in their bedroom, and like all of the blinds are closed and it's really dark and they're not even eating, barely talking to anyone, and they're just scrolling on social media, kind of just like being mindless. And so while I understand, sometimes it's easy to have those sort of days and it's easier to just like not have to talk to anyone or anything like that, but at the same time, it's important that we get, human interaction and that we put an effort to heal ourselves rather than kind of just be numb to whatever it is that is coming up, because I feel like a lot of us might find ourselves doing this because we don't want to face the subconscious things that are coming up in our lives with this moon card. The moon is all about the subconscious, suppression, repression, anything that is kind of hidden to us or that we have hidden from ourselves. And so if there's anything that you are hiding from, that is within yourself, if you're hiding from your shadow self, I feel like you're not doing yourself any good by running away from this. You're not doing yourself any good by trying to avoid it or by trying to be mindless, because it's still going to be there whether, you like it or not. It's still going to be there until you face that thing and acknowledge it and welcome it and accept it and find a better way to approach things. Does that kind of make sense? I also feel for some of you, with this Hermit card reversed, this can also signify someone who thinks that they know it all and they don't really want to ask for help. I feel like with this Hermit reversed and the Moon, I feel like this is really in relation to a spiritual journey for some of you, where maybe you feel that you know everything that you're doing and you feel like, oh, like I've already learned everything, I'm a pro now. And the Hermit reverse is saying, no, you don't know everything. There's still a lot for you to learn, and you shouldn't kind of like push everyone away or isolate yourself from anyone who could potentially teach you something new, because knowledge is always abundant. Knowledge and wisdom is always limitless. There's never a time when we stop learning. Like, it's impossible to just know every single thing, because there's always something new to learn. There's always evolution that is taking place. And so I feel like this week, if you are kind of taking on the mindset that you know everything, I feel like it's important for you to kind of check yourself and to manage that sort of egotistical sort of mindset and realize that it's just impossible. It's like for you, actually, I don't want to say that, but it's just not likely that you have learned every single detail that you need to learn and that you have just become this big pro now, or whatever the case may be. There's always opportunity to learn. And once you kind of put yourself in the mindset, oh, I've already learned everything, I don't need to know anything else, like I'm completely fine, that's when you become stagnant. And that's when you just close off any sort of opportunity for growth or improvement or betterment of yourself in whatever way that might be for you. I also feel like with this Hermit reversed, and especially with the Moon and the Hermit reversed, I feel as though there might be some sort of like secret keeping that's going on, whether you are keeping a secret or someone else is keeping a secret from you, in whatever the way that might be, or just keeping some sort of information to themselves. Maybe it's not intentionally to hurt anyone, but I feel like someone is like keeping something to themselves for whatever reason that might be. And I feel like they're not being completely honest about how they feel, whether it's you or another person. In all of my readings, you can always reverse the roles however way you need to so that it resonates with your situation. But if there's, for example, if there's something that you are keeping from someone else, for whatever reason that might be, maybe because you feel like they wouldn't understand, or you feel like it just wouldn't work out, or whatever the case might be, I feel like it's important for you not to keep that within yourself and to shed a little bit of light in the situation, because with the Moon, it talks about fogginess and confusion and trying to keep up an illusion. I really wonder if some of you are trying to keep up some sort of illusion of like yourself or of like your image or something along those lines, where you want people to perceive you a certain way when in reality it's just something completely different. Does that kind of make sense? And so I feel like that could be a bit of an issue this week, which is something to be mindful of. And I think it's important to be mindful of like the secrets that you're keeping and to make sure if it's even worth keeping this secret, or if there's a reason why you're keeping the secret in the first place, or is it just because of a really small thing that ultimately doesn't have a big impact at the end of the day? Does that make sense? And so that's one thing that I see. And in terms of someone who is isolating themselves and, going through that phase of like not really going out, not really talking to people, not really being active in the world, in the physical world, the Fool is telling me that it's important for you to take a leap of faith and to take any sort of risk that you need to take, and to just be out there, be a little bit more spontaneous, be a little bit more of a risk taker, do things that push you outside of your comfort zone, because I feel like some of you might have grown accustomed to the way of life that you were living. And obviously, there are things that impact that. So, for example, someone with depression might not want to go out and do those things. And I completely understand, and I am not blaming you at all. And if you lack that sort of motivation or will, I completely understand that, and, take care of yourself, but also push yourself a little bit, even if it's just leaving your bedroom for a few minutes. Like, push yourself a little bit every single day to do more, so that you're not just always in your room doing anything, and do it little by little. Don't push it so much to the point that it's really overwhelming, but take small steps. If you're someone with anxiety and you feel like you can't do anything because you're so like overridden by anxious thoughts and things like that, push yourself a little bit each and every day to do something more and to calm yourself down. If you're feeling really anxious, and if that is what is preventing you from taking any sort of risks or being spontaneous or anything along those lines, find a way to calm down your mind, to calm down your heart. And something that is really helpful with that is meditating and yoga. Doing yoga that is calming and that, that activates I believe, your parasympathetic nervous system. That is really, really helpful. So if you're someone who is very anxious, even just taking deep breaths is very, very, very helpful, because it calms you down. It brings more oxygen to your mind, which, helps a lot, obviously. So if you're someone who's very anxious, take a lot of deep breaths. Be very mindful of your breathing. Be very aware of your breathing. If you're someone who takes a lot of very shallow breaths, be mindful of that and work on deepening your breathing. If you're someone who suffers from just feeling really foggy, or just really sad all of the time, or whatever the case may be, if you're just feeling really sluggish, being a little bit more active and doing poses, for example, in yoga that bring up your heart rate is very helpful for you, and it makes you feel a little bit more light and alive. Does that make sense? So anyways, if you're just really isolating yourself and you don't want to do anything a lot, or you're just feeling really weird, and just not feeling like you want to interact with anyone, and if you're just kind of really isolating yourself and putting yourself in your own little cage, I would really encourage you to push yourself a little bit every single day, even if it's a little bit, to do more spontaneous things, or things that are a little bit outside of your comfort zone. And, for those who just find themselves to be in a phase where you're just in a funk and you are really you don't want to leave your house, or you don't want to leave your room, or whatever the case may be, yes, it's okay to rest, because we do have the Four of Swords. So yes, it's okay to rest and to not overwhelm yourself. Don't take things to extremes. This just applies to anyone. Don't take anything to the extreme. Rest when you need to do so, but also push yourself, right? I feel like this week is a time for you to push yourself a little bit and to integrate a little bit more with your community, with your friends, with your family, if that's available to you, with your friends, if that's available to you, like I said, with anyone or whatever is available to you, so that you can go outside of your comfort zone a little bit at a time. Okay? So now we have truth, right? And I feel like this really resonates with the Hermit card and with the moon, because the moon is all about secrets and stuff. So I feel like this could be a few scenarios here with this truth card. It could be that maybe you need to tell the truth to someone, or they need to tell the truth to you, or some sort of truth is going to be revealed to you in some sort of way, whether it's a truth about a situation or just some sort of inner truth, right? That you realize while you are in this hermit mode. And we have solitude, which makes sense because we have the Hermit card. So we have solitude, which is saying how I feel like it just confirms this whole hermit mode thing of like you guys being alone, not really wanting to talk to anyone. Maybe some of you are isolating yourselves and being in your own solitude, being in your own company because you're trying to figure things out for yourself, because maybe you're trying to find your own identity, or maybe you're trying to find the truth of like your purpose or your life purpose or whatever the case may be. I feel like a big theme for you is like truth finding, and like revealing information, or information that is being revealed to you, or you revealing your own information in some sort of way. And then we have happiness. I really love how like this is all just like tying in together. But we do have happiness. You might be seeing dolphins a lot because we do have, you know, dolphins in this card. So maybe dolphins are like significant to you this week. I feel like this is also just talking about how you need to integrate a little bit more with your community. Because when you think of dolphins, like they're very, is it communal? Is that the word? But they're very like tight-knit. They're very community-oriented. And whenever, I'm pretty sure like whenever like there's like a death in the like the little community, like they all feel it. Or is that like elephants? I think that's an elephant thing. I don't remember. But they're very community-based. And so this to me is just saying like, integrate yourself a little bit more with your people, with your tribe, rather than just like being alone all of the time. And while it is good every once in a while to, you know, go into hermit mode so that you can recharge, it's also not beneficial for you to be going to hermit mode for long, extended periods of time and just completely shutting everyone out from your life. Does that make sense? And if you're just like, for example, scrolling on social media very mindlessly and you're using that as a way to cope with things that you don't want to deal with, if you're using that as a way to be numb to the world, that's not going to help you. So next we have courage. Again, this is saying that you need to push yourself a little bit, that you need to be a little bit more spontaneous, to, you know, sometimes put on a little bit of a brave face so that you can push yourself further and further rather than just being in the same old routine all of the time, because that doesn't promote much growth. Does that kind of make sense? And so I feel like this is just saying like, be courageous, be spontaneous, push yourself, take a leap of faith if you need to. Don't be afraid of, you know, the unexpected, because even though we might not know exactly what could happen in the future, there's beauty in that. And it's important for us to find the beauty in the unexpected rather than automatically thinking, I don't know what's going to happen, so it must be bad. You know, we have to work on creating new neural pathways so that we can build a better reality for ourselves. Does that make sense? And then we have community. Again, I keep on emphasizing community for you guys, but I really do think that integrating with your people, with your soul family, is really going to help you. And if you haven't found that yet, I understand, and, you know, that's okay. If there's at least one person in your life that you can talk to and that you can trust, talk to them. And, you know, if you don't even have that person, maybe find a mentor, whoever that might be to you. Find some sort of figure that you can find, someone or something, whether it's music, that helps guide you a little bit, and helps give you that sense of courage. You could also be seeing a lot of rainbows and butterflies this week. I also feel like maybe for some of you, going to the ocean, if that's available to you, or going to a body of water would really be helpful to you and be very peaceful to you. Or even going out in the woods, just going out in nature would really be helpful for you. But I think specifically the ocean or the woods would be very helpful and very peaceful. And I think that it would help you kind of enlighten a little bit, or awaken a little bit, or feel a little bit more free, feel a little bit more light, give you a boost in your step. If you're able to, go camping and just enjoy the sound of nature. And then we have wisdom. So some of you might be on a pursuit of wisdom, pursuit of truth, pursuit of knowledge. I feel like a lot of you are going to learn a lot about yourselves this week. And I feel like you're going to be given the opportunity to heal a lot of the things that you might have been dealing with for a while. So that's honestly really great. And I feel like by learning, I feel like you're going to gain a lot of wisdom specifically about like your life path and specifically about how to better approach your life and how to create a better reality for yourself. Does that make sense? And so I feel like you might even learn a lot from your community, from your soul family, from your people, from your friends, from loved ones, whoever it might be to you. I feel like you're going to learn a lot about them, and that's why I think it's important for you not to isolate yourself, because I feel like right now the key is for you to learn from other people and not just be on your own this entire time, you know? And then our parting message for you, group one, is Imrama. Where are you being called to journey to? So this to me is saying how some of you might really be on like a spiritual path, or you might be on some sort of path. And, you know, in trying to pursue that path, maybe you have isolated yourself a little bit too much. And I feel like this is, or maybe for some of you, you know, for those who have just been, you know, scrolling mindlessly on social media and just really isolating yourselves and just shutting out the whole world, like shutting out the external world, I feel like this is a really great question to ask yourself. Like, where are you being called to journey to? What is your purpose here? And I feel like a lot of you are going to learn that answer. You're going to realize that answer. You're going to learn the truth as to what your purpose is. I feel like you're going to find something that just, I feel like for a lot of you, you might have felt really lost and really alone and lonely and all of that. In the past, in the very recent past, or for however long, whether it was most of your life, I understand that. I feel like this week or in nearby times, or in the month or within the next few months, I feel like you're really going to learn what your life purpose is and what your journey is in this lifetime, and where you're being called to journey to, and like the whole point of all of this. I feel like that's going to be revealed to you, and I feel like that's just really beautiful. And then we have play, have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious. So for those of you that are really isolating yourself, I feel like this is a really wonderful message to have, especially because we have the Fool here. So I love how this is all tying together. You know, don't take life so seriously. Don't just think that everything has to be like this strategized plan that you have to follow every single step. No. Cut yourself some slack, give yourself some rest. Allow yourself to have fun, allow yourself to be free, allow yourself to be liberated, to explore, to do different things rather than just like sticking to this one specific path that you think is the way. No, be a little bit more flexible. I think flexibility is very important for you. And I think that by cutting yourself a little bit more slack and not taking everything so seriously and realizing that you don't have to have every single thing in your life figured out immediately, I feel like that's really going to help you in figuring out what your journey is, what your path is, and that's just going to help progress a lot of things for yourself. And I feel like it's going to build up a lot of courage. I really do. I feel like it's going to help you build a lot of courage within yourself and connect with other people and network. And I feel like by, you know, going to get-togethers or hanging out with other people or networking or whatever, it's going to help you build connections in ways that will not only help you, but you will be able to use them. You will be able to use those connections in the long run. You know, like you'll have someone that you can talk to. Like you have someone who can help you if you're ever in a situation that would it somehow involve them or their expertise. Does that make sense? So that is what I have for you, my loves. I hope that you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. I would love to hear your feedback. Give the video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And if you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so at sinfulpluto.com. The link will be down below if you want to just go there and share with your friends, your family, loved ones. Share the video with your friends, family, loved ones. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to know when I upload my videos. And if you want to find me on social media, you can do so on Twitter and Instagram at Sinfulpluto. Yeah. So that is it, and I'll talk to you next week or when I post my next video. Bye. Hi group 2, how are you? I hope that you are doing well. Obviously, if you chose this group, you chose the opal. Oh shit. So let's go ahead and get started with your reading to see what is in store for you this week. So group 2, I honestly love this spread so much. We have the Queen of Pentacles, Earth energy, so that could be a major theme for you this week. We have the Ace of Wands, Three of Wands, a lot of passion, a lot of movement, and then the Ten of Pentacles. Honestly, I love this spread so much. You don't understand. So we have the Queen of Pentacles, right? This signifies someone who is very dependable, someone who knows how to get their shit done. This is someone who has everything that they need, especially with this Ten of Pentacles. I feel like a lot of you are just going to be thriving this week. I'm so excited. I feel like you're getting a lot of things done, and I feel like there's a sense of confidence. There's a sense of confidence in just knowing what you're worth, and I feel like you're placing your worth above others, if that kind of makes sense. And it's not like in a selfish way where you're putting other people down, but it's just like you see what you are worth and you see that no one can take advantage of you, and you are no longer going to let people take advantage of you if that has been something that you have struggled with in the past. I also feel like with this Queen of Pentacles, this is just saying how you just get things done. You turn your passions or your dreams or your aspirations into tangible things. And I also feel with this Queen of Pentacles, this can signify someone who's just very nurturing, someone very loving, very stable, very dependable, like I said earlier. Just someone very just warm. I feel like there's just a sense of stability with you this week, or maybe you will encounter someone who is like the Queen of Pentacles, someone who, like I said, dependable, reliant. They get their things done, very nurturing, very loving, very warm. They make you feel safe. There's a sense of security that this Queen of Pentacles provides. And then we have the Ace of Wands, which is like taking action, initiative. It's a new beginning. It's a new project. It's also like fertility. So if that is something that you need or that you want this week, I feel like this week would be a really great time to have it, especially with the Queen of Pentacles, like to have any sort of like relations if you want to. But I just feel like it's an overall passionate week. With the Ace of Wands and the Three of Wands, some of you might have like long distance relationships and like the sexual tension has been building up, and maybe you guys are visiting each other this week, and there just happens to be a lot of passion between you, a lot of things going on. So if that's the case, make sure that you use protection, that you're safe, and that you are just mindful of things that are going on, okay? But I also feel that with this Ace of Wands and this Three of Wands, this can signify someone who is, I feel like for some of you, you might be moving somewhere, or you're just traveling somewhere. You're traveling to pursue something, or traveling could be your passion, or there's something about traveling or long distance things going on here. I also feel like for some of you, this could be in relation to like just learning or college or some sort of like course that you're taking that you're very passionate about, that's going to teach you a lot and it's going to broaden your horizons. I feel like that's something that could be happening this week. Or it could also be like what is that called? What is it called? Like exchange, like an exchange student program. I could also see that, and I feel like money wouldn't even be an issue for you. I feel like you're just going to be pursuing a lot of things, and I feel that this week is really a time of learning, of expansion, and like liberating yourself. I feel like some of you might be just like flying out of, the nest. I feel like a lot of you are flying out of the nest and you're growing up, you're becoming independent, you're liberating yourself, you're finding freedom. I feel like freedom is something that you are going to be valuing a lot this week. And I feel like there's just nothing that is holding you down. There is nothing that can hold you back. And I feel that, once you find this passion, there's nothing stopping you. And I feel like if there is something stopping you, this is really a time to take initiative and to take action. This is a time to just get things done. I really do feel that. I feel like there's just a lot of really great energy for you that is working in your favor this week, group 2. So I would really ask you to take advantage of this energy because it's not every day that we have this opportunity. Bro, I look like Dora. I'm kidding. Well, but yeah, I really do see. I also feel like with this Queen of Pentacles, this is someone who is like very supportive of you. If there's like a maternal figure or just a very nurturing figure in your life that maybe you want approval from, I feel like this person supports you and they give you your approval. They give you the stamp of approval. And I feel like that is really going to motivate you to take initiative even more, to take action, to pursue what you truly love. I feel like I just see a lot of passion. I see a lot of fire energy. It's wonderful because we have fire and we have earth energy, which I really, really love. Because with the passion, with the fire that you have, inside of you, that is really going to drive you to build a stronger foundation for yourself, for you to build a more stable lifestyle, for you to build a more stable reality, if that kind of makes sense. Like, you're going to be able to build a reliable reality, something that you can depend on and something that is long lasting, especially with this 10 of Pentacles, which is like generational wealth or generational like status or reputation. I feel like a lot of you, honestly, you're on your way of building an empire. If you're, for example, an entrepreneur, I really feel like you are building an empire and you need to keep on going. You need to keep on pushing and going and learning and expanding your horizons, always being open to accept and acknowledge different perspectives is going to help you further in your career, is going to help you further in the life that you want to build. And it's going to last you a lifetime. Like, whatever it is that you're building is for generations. It's not just for your lifetime. It's for your kids, for your grandkids, for your great grandkids. Like, this is something that I feel like a lot of you honestly are like somehow breaking like a chain. You're breaking, you're liberating yourself from like some sort of cycle, or breaking yourself free from just the expectations of the world. You're doing something different, and I really freaking love that. I adore it so much, and I'm so excited, and I'm so happy for you. And I feel like you're just building yourself up so much. I'm so excited. I just love this so much. So let's get into the oracles. We have flexibility. So it's important that you are flexible this week, group 2, okay? Don't attach yourself to anything just yet. I'm saying this especially because I have the Queen of Pentacles here, and she's kind of like admiring her 1 pentacle. Be careful not to attach yourself to anything just yet, or attach yourself to anything, period. Be careful of be careful of placing too much value on this one thing, on fixating on this one thing, because we don't want just 1 pentacle, right? We want the 10 pentacles, okay? So don't just settle for this one. Always strive for more. Strive for something that is generationally like going to be passed down, okay? So be very flexible, be very adaptable, be willing to go with the flow, go with the change. Don't just be fixated on this one thing or on this one outcome. Be very open to change, to, having to re-navigate certain things or whatever the case may be. Okay, and then we have protection. Honestly, it makes me so happy seeing this card, and it makes me a little bit emotional, but I feel like this protection is just saying, like, your guides, like, they got your back, and they are protecting you this week. They're very present with you this week. They are here with you no matter what, okay? And I feel like you are just so protected. You are very well protected. Like, you just got everything in the bag right now, and your angels are with you, your spirit guides are with you, whether you realize it or not, whether you feel them or not, they're there. And if you need protection, don't hesitate to ask them, to call on them, to communicate with them, because I feel like they're so willing to do it. And I feel that when you build a stronger connection with them, things just start flowing even more in your favor. And then we have love. Oh, I love this. This to me kind of just confirms the whole thing that I was saying about, for example, a long distance relationship. If you're in a long distance relationship, there's a lot of love between you and this person. There's a lot of passion between you and this person. So, like I said, be mindful that if you're going to engage in any sort of like relation, just be careful that you're protected, that you're safe and you're doing everything that you need to do, that you're taking all the precautions, anything along those lines, because sometimes we can get really caught up in passion and things like that. So just be careful. Excuse me. But I also feel like this love card is just saying that we are beginning to love ourselves a lot more. There's a lot of self-love going on. And I feel like this is just saying like we need to take care of ourselves more. We are being encouraged to take care of ourselves more. And this doesn't mean spending $300 at the store on clothing. That's not what I mean. Although that could be an aspect of it, but not spending $300, but taking care of ourselves in the sense of like pampering ourselves and like affirming that we are beautiful human beings, that we have a purpose here, affirming that, you know, we love ourselves or whatever the case may be. Pampering ourselves by cleaning up our space, by clearing up our aura, by cleaning our room, by preparing a meal that you love so much and you put in a lot of intention and love into it. Pampering ourselves by reading your favorite book. Pampering ourselves by doing things that fulfill your inner self and not just any sort of void that you might have. Does that make sense? So I really do feel like there's just a lot of love. There's so much positive energy in this reading, and I'm just all for it. And then we have leadership, which makes sense because we do have the Ace of Wands, right? So be the leader in your own life. And I feel like once you begin to lead, once you are the leader of your own life, other people will follow suit and they will follow you and they will see what they can learn from you. I feel like you are kind of like a catalyst to growth. You're a catalyst for a new life. You're a catalyst to building something greater than yourself. And I feel like it's important for you to take that leap of faith. It's important for you to just keep on going, to take initiative, to take action, and to not wait for anybody. Because at the end of the day, this is your life, you know? And then we have gateway, which is just saying like, you're on the right path. If you need confirmation that you're on the right path, you are absolutely on the right path. Just keep on going, continue taking action, continue learning, broadening your horizons, expanding your horizons, just traveling or meeting new people or whatever the case may be. Always be open to expand, to liberate yourself, to learn. Always be open to learn. Always be open to learn. And I feel like you're just opening a new gateway to just prosperity and success and beautiful energy. And the last card we have here is thriving. Yo, this week, like, you are going to be thriving this week, group 2. Honestly, I am so excited for you, and it's just so beautiful, this energy. Like, there's just so much success, so much love for you that is in store for you. And if you feel like this isn't resonating, you can make this your reality by manifesting it, by setting intentions every single day that this is going to be a wonderful day, that it's going to be a wonderful week, that you are blessed, that you are lucky, and always expressing gratitude. When you express gratitude, you are always opening yourself up to receive wonderful, wonderful, wonderful things. So that's what I have. We have 2 last cards. This is your parting message. And we have leap. You go first. The universe will catch you. So take that leap of faith. Fly free. If you have been thinking about moving out, this is your time. If you have been thinking about changing your changing your major, this is the time. Follow your own dreams. Follow your own passions. Don't worry about what other people want for you, because they don't matter. And I'm not saying that they don't matter, like they literally don't matter, but this is your life. Do what makes you happy. Do what is best for you and what you know is best for you. Take a leap of faith, man. Take action, take initiative. And when you trust in the universe, you will see that the universe has got your back, and we have protection. Like, the universe is here with you. The universe will catch you. The universe will not just let you fall on the ground. Like, it's here for you. And then we have transformation. Things are changing at a cellular level, deep healing. I really do feel that there's just a lot of transformation going on. The person that you are now is going to be completely different from the person that you are next week. Or the person that you were in the past is just completely different from the person that you are this week. Like, I just am so excited for you, and I really am so excited. I commend you, and I really hope that all of the wonderful things manifest for you. And I wish you the best, group 2. But I think that's it. So if you enjoyed this reading, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear your feedback. Give the video a big thumbs up. Share with your friends, family, loved ones, or whoever you want to share it with. Subscribe and hit the bell notification to know when I upload my videos. And if you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so at Sinfulpluto.com. The link will be down below if you desire to just go there. If you are interested in any of the decks that I have used today, they will be linked down below if you are interested in purchasing them. And if you want to find me on social media, you can do so on Twitter and Instagram at Sinfulpluto. So with that being said, my loves, I hope that you have a wonderful day, a wonderful week. Let me know how all of this turns out for you. I have so much faith. I'm sending you so much love and so many blessings, because you deserve it, okay? But that's it, my loves, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi, group 3. How are you? I hope that you are doing well. If you chose this group, you chose the rose quartz. Right. That was the second time I dropped a crystal today. But you chose a rose quartz. So let's go ahead and get into your reading to see what is in store for you this week. What the energy is. So we have the 5 of Pentacles, okay? The 7 of Pentacles, 7 of Swords, and the 8 of Pentacles. Okay. So this week I see you guys struggling a little bit, but I think it's more so... Actually, no. You could be struggling a little bit, whether it's because of finances or material things, or because of, because of status, reputation, power, influence, that sort of thing. Maybe that's something that you are struggling with this week. But I feel that with this 5 of Pentacles, there's a solution to your problem, but you're not really seeing it because you're so focused on the weight that you are carrying. You're so focused on, your sorrow. And you're so focused on... honestly, your despair, almost. You're so focused on all of the negative that you're not seeing what is being offered right in front of you. And I feel like some of you are just, not seeing the solution to the problem because of that. Which is understandable. We've all been there. I've been there. I get it. I'm not placing any sort of blame towards you. But there's just a sense of, instability, or looking at things very pessimistically, feeling like the world is against you, feeling like there's nothing else that you can do, feeling that there are no options left for you, but there are. But because, you're begging for, maybe you're begging the universe, I need a sign, I need a signal, I need a synchronicity, I need something. And, you're so focused on this, praying or the begging of a sign that you don't see the sign that's right in front of you. Does that kind of make sense? Your attention is placed on the wrong thing right now. And so that's kind of what it seems like. And we have the 7 of Pentacles, which is telling me that you need to be consistent and patient. I feel like some of you perhaps are a little bit impatient and are trying to rush something to happen for whatever reason that might be for you. And we have the 7 of Swords, which confirms this. You want something to happen very quickly, and I feel like some of you might be trying to rush a process. But in doing that, you not only end up not being able to carry all 7 swords, but you overlook the obstacles, or you overlook certain details that could really get you into trouble because you're not paying attention. There's a lack of focus. There's a lack of strategy. And I feel like there has to be a better plan that is implemented in order for you to do in order for you to get out of this sort of situation. And we have the Eight of Pentacles, which is telling me that it's important for you to study the details, to be a little bit of a perfectionist this week. It's important for you to be patient and to be determined and to know that you're not going to have success overnight. You will reach it eventually, but it's not going to be an overnight thing. And I think it's important for you to work on building a better mindset for yourself. This doesn't mean just being blindly positive and just saying all of these things and rejecting all of the negative. No, but this is saying to build a better coping, or to build a better way to cope with this sort of situation, to build a better way to cope with the Five of Pentacles. Does that make sense? And so rather than thinking, oh, like I don't have enough money, I don't know how, like I don't have a job, I'm so poor, da da da. No, stop yourself and you know, tell yourself that it's okay that you are kind of in this mindset, and you know, don't just like be so hard on yourself, but also ask yourself, okay, what can I do to improve my mindset? What can I do to create a better reality for myself? What can I do to change my perception? Because that's kind of what this is all based around, is perception. Excuse me. So, for example, you can start meditating. I will always recommend this. Like, I'm not even kidding. Please don't take meditating for granted and just think that it's not even that helpful. I promise you, over time, it is so helpful. When you are able to just breathe mindfully and clear your mind of any worries, even just for 10 minutes, to just focus on your breathing, to focus on affirmations, to focus on creating a better reality. It's just so helpful. I promise you, it is really life-changing. So I would really recommend meditating. That's one. Journaling, scripting, manifesting, or like saying affirmations to yourself every day and writing them down, for example, on a Post-it and putting it somewhere that you will see it. For example, I have a few Post-its on my wall right now, and one of them says, like, I'm blessed beyond expectations. Miracles are flowing my way. I read that every day, or I see it there every day, and it's always reminding me to know, it's always reminding me that I am always blessed. And even if I might not see it, it doesn't mean that I'm not blessed. I am always like, it keeps me in a state of gratitude. When I'm in a state of gratitude, that is when I manifest the most. So when you are grateful for the things that you have, when you are grateful for, you know, everything that you have, even if you have taken it for, like, even if you feel as though you don't have much, there is always something to be grateful over. There is always something worthy of gratitude. So I really encourage you this week to, every day, and even beyond this week, I really encourage you to start writing things down, writing things that you are grateful for every single morning when you wake up, or even at night, or both. You know, write things that you are grateful for. Write things that you love, that you feel so blessed to have. List out all of your blessings. List out everything that you are so appreciative over, okay? And like, think deeply about it, okay? Go further than just the basic things. And even if you start off with the basic things, that's completely fine. But build yourself up and put yourself in that mindset. When you put yourself in a mindset of gratitude, you open yourself up to receive a lot more prosperity and success and abundance into your life. Does that make sense? And so, if some of you are just feeling really impatient and you're just trying to rush something, I really feel like that would not work work to your advantage. It won't. It would be favorable to you to focus on the details, to plant the seeds and to be patient, to consistently water these figurative plants, right? To water these plants so that they will blossom and bloom, and you will have like you will have a wonderful outcome, right? In order to have this, you have to have this. You don't just have a finished outcome like this. No, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of focus on detail. It takes a lot of persistence and consistency. And so by trying to rush something to happen, and because you feel like you need it immediately, and because of like this feeling of desperation, it doesn't work out much. It doesn't work much in your favor. So I think it's important for you this week, group 3, to just breathe, okay? Remind yourself to breathe. relax a little bit. Give yourself some time to meditate, to practice some yoga, to listen to binaural beats, to listen to a guided meditation, to read an uplifting book, to to write down, to repeat to yourself really wonderful and uplifting affirmations. Fill your environment with things that uplift you rather than oppress you. Okay? And then we have success, right? So this is the thing that you're striving for. You want success, you want to be successful, you want this outcome. This is your desired outcome. Yes, that makes sense. But we have stand still and we have stillness. It's so funny to me how both of these cards came out. A swan could be of importance to you. I feel like birds could be very important to you this week because we have a lot of birds. And we have freedom. We have freedom. So birds could be of importance to you this week. You'd be seeing a lot of them. I would encourage you that if you see a specific bird, for example, like a red cardinal, look up the significance of a red cardinal if you see one. Because it could be a message to you. You could also be seeing a lot of butterflies, transformation. But anyways, so you're striving for success. Yes, we have standstill and stillness. I really just feel like this is saying that you need to slow down. Stop trying to rush everything. If you don't have a strategy, why are you trying to make any sort of action or movement? Okay, this is the time to sit in your own company. To embrace silence, because I feel like maybe for a while some of you may have been just feeling a little bit chaotic and feeling like you just can't catch a break, or feeling like there's just so much noise. Like there's always noise around you, or like background noise. Like there's always something going on, and I feel like it's important for you to just stop for a second. Just stop what you're doing, sit down in a comfortable position, put on some relaxing music, and just sit. Okay, that's like, sometimes that can be the hardest thing for people, is just sitting still. Because they're so used to movement. And by sitting still, they realize how chaotic their mind is. And then it can be a challenge. It can definitely be a little bit of a challenge to still your mind, to quiet your mind, because you're so used to having a monkey mind. And so I feel like this week we're very encouraged to practice stillness. And this doesn't necessarily mean physical stillness. No, it's mental stillness. It's quiet. It's silencing that inner monologue. It is silencing all of the chaos in your mind. And yes, that is a challenge. Absolutely. It's possible. Absolutely. But it's a challenge. For some of us, it can definitely be a challenge. For me, it's sometimes a challenge. And so we have to work on building our focus this week. Focusing, strategizing, planning. And not just trying to do everything at once in hopes for a victory. Because we want a victory that's fulfilling. We don't want an empty victory. Yes? And I feel that by doing that, or I feel that by sitting still in our mind and quieting our mind for a little bit and trying to trying to slow down the hamster wheel in our mind, we are able to focus a lot more, and we're able to build connections a lot easier. So I really recommend yoga this week. I really recommend journaling. I really, really, really recommend being mindful of your breathing. Okay? Ask yourself and realize, am I breathing deep enough? Am I breathing shallow? Am I not taking in enough breaths? Am I forgetting to breathe? And be mindful of that this week especially. But be mindful of that anyway. Okay? Even after this week, beyond this week, be mindful of that and create the habit of breathing more deeply, of being mindful of your breathing, being mindful of your mind, okay? Be mindful of when you are being mindless and just doing things on autopilot. Be present. Work on being present. Okay? And I feel like once you are able to do that, you free yourself. You're able to find freedom and liberate yourself from your own monkey mind and liberate yourself from the reality that you're living in. And I feel like this is just saying that you will be able to find freedom, whether it's like financial freedom or emotional freedom, whatever the case may be, once you are able to sit in stillness for a while and once you are able to just free yourself from your own mind and free yourself from certain mindsets or behaviors or patterns or whatever the case may be. And we have transformation. So this makes sense, right? To tie everything together. It's a very transformative week for you, and I feel like you are being encouraged to transform, to change, to do more for yourself, to go through a sort of metamorphosis, so that you can do better for yourself. And I feel like by being more mindful and just everything that I said, it's going to help you reach a more elevated state of mind, and that's just going to help you manifest a lot more, and it's going to help you overcome this Five of Pentacles energy. Okay? So here is your parting message, my loves. We have Star Mother. How can you mother yourself? How can you nurture yourself? How can you nurture your mind and do more for yourself? How can you treat yourself better? How can you treat yourself the way you would want to be treated? That's your question this week. How can you do more for yourself? How can you do more than just the bare minimum? Or even less than the bare minimum for some of us. How can you mother yourself? That's a very important question for you to ask yourself. How can you mother yourself? How can you take care of yourself? It's important for you to mother yourself because sometimes like other people are not going to do it for us. There are some people who haven't really been properly mothered, and so we had to do it ourselves. And sometimes we just have to rely on ourselves. And so that's why it's important to build proper and healthy mechanisms or habits that promote growth and wellness and happiness and fulfillment. Yes? And then our last message here, keepers of the earth, you are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. So your angels, your spirit guides, they're all here with you in times of need. They're always going to be here with you. It's just up to you to open your eyes and see them. It's up to you to open your eyes and see the synchronicities, the signs, the messages that they are sending you. You are never ever alone in this earth, even if it feels like you are, and I promise you. Even if I don't know you personally, and even if maybe you have left a message to me on Twitter or Instagram, even if I may not have responded, it doesn't mean that I don't acknowledge it, and it doesn't mean that I'm not sending you my blessings and my love. I'm always sending you love, and I'm always sending you blessings and prosperity and happiness, because you deserve it. You always, always, always deserve happiness and greatness and prosperity and success. And so if you ever feel isolated and alone, don't be afraid, don't hesitate to call on your spirit guides, even if it's just for their company, and even if it's just for a little bit of comfort. They will always be there for you, but you have to call on them. So that is what I have for you, my loves. I really hope that this resonates. Let me know in the comments down below. If it doesn't resonate now, come back by the end of the week and let me know how things turned out. And if you liked the video, give it a big thumbs up. I would love to hear all of your feedback and share with your friends, your family, loved ones, whoever. Oh my god, did you hear that? My little cousin fell, probably. And what else? Subscribe, hit the bell notification to know when I upload my next video. And if you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so at Sinfulpluto.com. The link will be down below. And if you want to follow me on social media, you can do so on Twitter and Instagram at Sinfulpluto. So with that being said, I hope you have a wonderful week, my angels. Please take care of yourself. Please drink lots of water, meditate, practice yoga, journal, okay? Do these things to pamper yourself, to take care of yourself, honestly. We take advantage and we take for granted all of these things, and it's important that we put ourselves first. So, with that being said, I will talk to you soon.